a Lincoln during the Lincoln Sales Event. Get exceptional offers on the 2013 Lincoln MKX, and your first month's payment compliments of the Lincoln Motor Company.
Live, local, 1 hour earlier. Fox 29 10 o'clock news starts now.
From the small screen to the classroom, an ex-porn star turned math tutor says he's being discriminated for his past life. Eyes in the sky.
We'll start off with an 83 on a dart car.
We're 2,000 feet in the air with troopers cracking down on Florida speeders. Plus, an eatery is serving up lion tacos with a side of controversy. And wait until you hear the other exotic options on the menu. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jay Cashmere.
I'm Shannon Cake. Right now at 10 o'clock, the lawyer defending Dennis DeMartin is speaking out for the first time. He is trying to keep the juror out of jail after his actions triggered a retrial for polo mogul John Goodman. Fox 29's Jeff Skripek live tonight in the newsroom with the interview you'll see only here on Fox 29. Jeff?
Well, Shannon, juror Dennis DeMartin isn't talking, but his lawyer is tonight. I sat down with him for a very long interview where he's very careful about what he said, fearing it could jeopardize DeMartin's freedom.
You're talking about a foolish 69-year-old man.
Dennis DeMartin is the reason why polo mogul John Goodman is getting a new trial. And now this former juror is facing his own court battles. I sat down with his lawyer, Joe Walsh.
I don't think anyone intends to do something that will cause them harm down the road, but obviously, this is a very serious thing.
A judge called DeMartin recklessly indifferent to the truth. DeMartin didn't tell lawyers his ex-wife had a DUI arrest. That might have kept him off the Goodman jury. I asked Walsh about that behavior.
I don't really want to comment on that.
The 69-year-old is facing a charge of indirect criminal contempt, a crime that could land DeMartin in jail for more than 5 months.
You don't really want to envision a 70-year-old man going to jail. But at the same time, obviously, the law is the same for every person.
Walsh says of the thousands of cases he's been a part of, only 2% have involved people over the age of 65. So we reached out to prosecutors. Michael Edmondson of the State Attorney's Office sent us this statement. The State Attorney's Office is ethically constrained from making any extra judicial commentary on an active case.
It's got to be tough for a guy in his position to, especially with his health conditions, and obviously that'll be something that we'll probably discuss in court.
On Thursday, Walsh will also be filing 2 motions to dismiss the charges.
And certainly we are going to do our best to make sure that he doesn't serve any time.
Now, Walsh also told me this evening that he'll be filing this. This is a demand for a jury trial. Meanwhile, DeMartin's next day in court is May 30th. Live in the newsroom tonight, Jeff Skripek, Fox 29 News.
Jeff, thank you. Fearing for his life, an off-duty deputy opens fire on his own neighbor in Royal Palm Beach. A decision the deputy says he made in a split second. Fox 29's Dan Corcoran is live at St. Mary's Medical Center tonight, where the victim is fighting for his life. He has the latest on the investigation. Dan?
Well, Jay, that suspect, Aldo Alvarez, he's here at St. Mary's listed in critical condition. That's after taking several bullets from a deputy's gun, a deputy that says he had no choice but to shoot. A Royal Palm Beach gated community rocked by gunfire.
It can happen anywhere. It's happened.
A Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputy comes home after work and quickly finds himself face to face with Aldo Alvarez, his neighbor.
And the man was shaking his arms with a look of rage.
Investigators say Alvarez was agitated and that a confrontation escalated to Alvarez cornering the deputy in his own garage. What happened next happened in an instant.
And I heard boom, 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 boom.
The deputy grabbed his gun and fired, hitting Alvarez several times. PBSO says Alvarez stumbled to the end of the driveway and collapsed.
You just never imagine something like this is going to happen across the street from your house.
Next door neighbor Vivian, who didn't want to show her face on camera, says she knows both the deputy and the suspect and can't believe this could happen so close to home.
It's difficult to imagine what life is going to be with. It's just a very awkward situation because the deputy was a very nice guy, too.
Those in law enforcement know the choice to use deadly force is made in a flash.
The thinking process happens after the shooting, and that's when it becomes surreal.
Former Boca Raton Police Chief Andrew Scott says in this case, Florida law is likely on the deputy's side.
There's no need to retreat when you are in your home to prevent a violent confrontation. And so the use of deadly force is very liberal within one's own home.
Investigators say Alvarez was not armed and that they're looking into whether he may be developmentally challenged. Again, the suspect here being treated at St. Mary's listed in critical condition. PBSO telling us tonight that suspect will be charged with burglary and also aggravated assault on a law enforcement officer. That law enforcement officer right now is on paid administrative leave. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, I'm Dan Corcoran, Fox 29 News.
All right, a beautiful day for South Florida. Sunshine and a beautiful evening with temperatures cooling off into the 60s and 50s for overnight lows, and really cloud-free across the area. A little bit of cloud cover to the north of us, and there's a front on the way. Actually watching a front that's going to move in the next 6 to 7 days. There's a look at current temperatures. Still in the 70s everywhere. Set to move into the 60s, rain-free. In fact, cloud-free. Beautiful night. Low humidity, too. Well, I'll let you know how long that low humidity will last, and we're going to take a look at your Mother's Day forecast coming up.
Steve, thanks. Happening now at 10. An NFL player and Port St. Lucie resident is facing battery charges tonight. Police arrested 34-year-old Corey McIntyre, a former Buffalo Bills player, after he got into an argument with a woman at his home. McIntyre is out on bail at this hour. The charges come just days before the South Fork High School grad was scheduled to play against police in a charity softball game. That game has now been canceled.
New developments in the kidnapping and imprisonment of 3 young women in Ohio. 52-year-old Ariel Castro has been charged with kidnapping and rape. Officials say there is no evidence of involvement by his brothers, Pedro and O'Neill Castro. They will not face charges. We're learning disturbing new details about how the women were treated while being held in that home.
We have confirmation that they were bound and there was change of ropes in the home.
Meanwhile, 2 of the women are back home tonight for the first time. The other, Michelle Knight, is still recovering in the hospital.
Still ahead at 10 tonight, an ex-porn actor turned math tutor is taking a local school district to court while he says his rights are being violated.
Then watch out from above. Florida troopers are taking to the sky to crack down on highway speeders.
Plus, cooking up controversy. The unusual tacos this South Florida eatery is serving up has critics roaring with disapproval.